Morning friends, my name's Justin. Welcome to my channel. I play guitar on songs in Nashville. I just wanted to post a brief video giving you sort of an update on the status of the channel, what I've been up to. It's all pretty exciting stuff actually. I just had a #1 on country radio with Cody Johnson. The song's called The Painter, and it's a fantastic song. People who talk about music coming out of Nashville, I get what you're saying. When you criticize it out of hand, there's a lot to criticize. This isn't one of them. Cody's stuff is really, really good. He's very much a Texas country guy. There's a lot of energy. The songs typically build to this sort of epic thing, and they're just really, really, really well written. And this song is no different. We've just cut some stuff for, I think, wrapping up his next record, and man, the songs that they're picking and that they're writing are just fantastic. And I cannot say enough good things about Cody and his wife and that entire crew. That's one of the few crews that if they called and said, hey, we need you to sub in on a gig because our guitar player is sick or something, like, I would find a way to make it work. They're great. And I also have nothing but the kindest things to say about his producer, Trent. Trent has been an advocate for so many artists. He's an artist himself and a songwriter out of Texas. And a lot of people are finding their way into Nashville through Trent, with him producing their records, co-writing with them. Trent is one of the most solid people I know, and it's always encouraging to find really solid people in the music industry. We've got a little bit of LA here in Nashville, a little bit of that, what do you call it, the 1,000-yard stare, where you're talking to somebody but their mind is clearly elsewhere, you know? We actually call it the Nashville stare. This happened to me one time when I was new to town. I was at a friend's birthday party at a bar in downtown Nashville, and he's a musician, bunch of musicians there. And some musician comes up to me, and I'm not going to name names or anything, but he's quite a bit older than I am, was pretty established in the scene. And he comes up to me and introduces himself and says he's heard great things. I was like, oh, cool, yeah, man, great to meet you. And he asked me a question, like, about what I've been involved in. And as I was answering, I kid you not, as I was answering the question that he had specifically asked me, he's kind of like circling around me saying, and keeps looking over my shoulder. And it's apparent to me that somebody's come into the room that he just feels like he needs to get to immediately. So I was like, hey man, why don't just go? Oh, okay, I'm real sorry. And he just left. And then that night, I get a message from him saying, hey, it's really great to meet you and to catch up. I really hope that you'd keep me in mind if you hear of any gigs coming up for his instrument or whatever. And I was like, I will never recommend you. Why would I do that? There's a little bit of that in this town, and to find groups of people and camps of people that are just really solid and they care about the music, they care about putting out good music, they care about their fans, they care about the people who work for them, they care about just being excellent, you know, doing things really well and saying something with their music. Like, that's a big deal, and I don't take it lightly to be included in that group of people. So Trent and Cody and everybody, congrats. The other thing I've been up to is, and I'm sorry, I've gotten a lot of questions about this on the channel, on other videos. I have been filming a course. I've been filming it with Brett, my buddy Brett Papa. I'm sure a lot of you know Brett. I think a lot of you have come over here from his channel, and so thank you for coming and checking my stuff out. But Brett is the reason I'm even doing this. He got me into it. I went and did a couple of videos on his channel, and it was really fun. And he said, "Hey, man, you could do this, you know." And he's a big advocate for people as well, like very encouraging, you know. So that's why I got into it. I kind of just started making videos with my iPad. During the pandemic, I would just set my iPad up and talk about the songs I was working on, you know, and here we are. So the course with Brett, I wanted it to be something that sort of explains, not sort of, but explains where my headspace is at when I'm working on a song, when I'm trying to come up with a part, when I'm trying to play something creative, when I'm trying to fit into a mix with a band, whether that's live or in the studio, how to play with another guitar player, all sorts of things. So it's a framework, a set of what I consider to be fundamentals or tools for a creative guitarist. That's kind of the idea, is that this is how I view things. This is what I see. This is where my mind goes when I'm playing through songs. There's like example songs of what I would come across in a session here in Nashville, which, you know, like they're not all country songs. Some of them lean a little bit of pop. Others are more rock or Americana or whatever. Really, it's just it's guitar music. You know, what do you do in a band setting or in a setting with another guitar player? How do you listen to what they're doing and listen to everybody else while viewing the fretboard in a way that allows you to come up with something creative that weaves through everything you're playing along with? So it's very practical. It assumes very mild stuff, I think. Like I'm starting the course on the assumption that you can play a major scale in multiple keys, that you know all the open position chords, and you know basically bar chords, and where, when you slide a bar chord around, what's the name of it, you know. And we go from there. And there's a bunch of lessons that sort of build off of each other. And then Brett does the interview thing where he, you know, talks to me and provides some like counter perspective and some pushback, friendly, of course, on some things that I'm teaching, where he's like, "Oh, well, say I don't like any of that. What else would you do?" You know, for the examples I give, and kind of forces me to put what I'm teaching into action on the spot. Well, that wasn't working, so now we're going to shift and use the entire thing we've talked about to show you another option, you know. So we're not quite done with it. It's really tough balancing my schedule and his schedule, and so yeah, look for that fairly soon. I would say summer, maybe early fall, probably late summer. I'm not sure what the timetable is once we're done filming, and I believe we're done with the course. There just might be a couple of promo things to wrap up. So aside from that, I'm going to keep plugging away here, try to keep all of my overdub obligations to a minimum. When they start to back up, I get panicky. And I've had a lot of stuff back up lately. I'm just coming off of like a 5-day stomach bug, which is crazy. I've never had a stomach issue that lasted more than 24 hours, you know. It's like one of those 24 hours of both ends just, and then you're, you know, the next day you wake up and you're like, wow, I felt like I was hit by a truck, but it's done. It wasn't that this time. It's just lingering. So glad to be done with that, and I'm going to get back to what I do. So I'll see y'all later.